Many would say that it isn't just the weather that's getting heated in the state of Karnataka. Election season is in full swing, and as everyone expected, there are defections happening from across party lines, and it's anyone's guess as to how this election is really going to pan out. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hasn't begun his campaign in the state. He's planning a plethora of rallies across the state, and it remains to be seen what the impact of those rallies will be. The BJP seems to really be banking on the leadership of Prime Minister Modi and his appeal with the voters of Karnataka. The Congress, on the other hand, seems to have gotten a new dose of optimism, given that former Chief Minister Jagdish Shettar, who's also one of the tallest Lingayat leaders in the state, defected to the Congress last week. The JDS, on the other hand, is hoping that the old Mysuru belt and their traditional stronghold will result in them potentially coming to power and once again occupying the Chief Minister's post. So, it's a three-way contest here, and it's anyone's guess, as I mentioned, as to how this is going to go. Joining me today is senior election analyst and political commentator Amitabh Tiwari. He's had an illustrious career in the corporate world, and now he's back with me on Swell, talking about the elections. He's also, again, as I mentioned, a senior analyst. He appears on a lot of publications and in TV shows. And Amitabh, it's very nice of you to take time off to join me on Swell for this quick conversation. I wanted to get your reading of what's going on in Karnataka. I follow a lot of the tweets that you've been putting out, and I have to firstly say that they've been very informative and highly reliable. So I'd urge everyone listening in to go ahead and follow Amitabh Tiwari on Twitter. He goes by the handle Political Baba. So Amitabh, it's a very interesting election for various reasons. Many analysts have claimed that the Congress is in the lead as we speak, but things can change overnight, as we know in politics. So I was wondering what you think the state of play is. What do you make of the defection of Jagdish Shettar, and how is that going to really influence the Lingayat vote? And secondly, in terms of the leadership crisis that both the Congress, the BJP and the JDS, all three parties are facing, do you have a forecast as to how that's going to play out post-election season? And again, it's hard to really predict how this is going to go, but what is your reading of how the results are likely to pan out? So in 5 minutes, I'd really look forward to hearing your take on the Karnataka elections and your analysis. And we look forward to having you back here on Swell very soon. Thanks once again for taking the time out to chat with me on Swell.
Thank you, Karan. Thank you, Team Swell, for inviting me to discuss about the Karnataka elections. Essentially, CM Bommai is battling against history because no chief minister has returned to power since 1985 in the state of Karnataka. There is high anti-incumbency against the government, high levels of allegations of corruption, and there is also an exodus of senior profile, high profile leaders like you mentioned, Jagdish Shettar and Lakshman Sawadi, the chief minister, the former chief minister and the former deputy chief minister. So it's a very complex state. It is 5 to 6 states elections into one. Different regions have been behaving differently. And what has happened in the past 4 elections, 3 have thrown a hung assembly situation. See, BJP is not in contention in a very important region called as Old Mysuru, where the main contest is between the Congress and the JDS, which is the regional party. So if you remove the Old Mysuru region, the strike rate which the BJP needs to achieve to win the state elections is fairly high compared to a Congress. While a JDS victory is ruled out, it is entirely relying on a hung assembly situation and trying to become a third time lucky, because JDS in the past has occupied the chief minister chair without getting the highest number of seats. The exodus of high profile leaders like Jagdish Shettar or Lakshman Sawadi could be a blow to BJP because they belong to the Lingayat community, which has been the anchor voting segment of the BJP. That's perhaps the only anchor voting segment of the BJP along with the Congress. So even if they are able to dent a minuscule 3 to 5% damage in the Lingayat vote, then it could translate into a 1 to 2% vote share gain for the Congress party. All the parties are facing internal fighting and factionalism. The Congress also is battling factionalism within the Siddaramaiah and the DK Shivkumar groups, but somehow they have seemed to manage these contradictions, because politics is the art of managing the contradictions, and they are fairly coming out in the open and saying that whatever the High Command decides post the elections, it will be applicable to them. BJP has also not clearly named a chief ministerial face. However, it is very difficult for the BJP to not have a Lingayat chief minister. It has tried in the past, which has backfired. In terms of the caste blocks, most of the caste blocks are already aligned to one or the other party. Like the Lingayats back the BJP, the Brahmins, the BJP, the Kurubas, the Congress, the SC, ST, largely the Congress, the Muslims, the Congress, the Vokkaligas have been backing the JDS. So what is happening is that the lower OBCs, or the extremely backward class, or the most backward class voters, which are around 22 to 25% of the population, hold the keys to the victory in the Karnataka elections, and they are sort of a swing voter, and they will actually decide the course of the elections in Karnataka. It is a cracker of an election. History is against the chief minister. Bombay, I would not say the BJP. The BJP, we have seen in the past that some party could emerge as a single largest party, but another parties could join hands and form government, like in 2018 when BJP emerged as the SLP, but the Congress and the JDS formed the government. So it's a state where some party could win, but other parties could form the government. It is also a sort of an existential battle for the JDS, because if they're not able to hold on to their stronghold of old Mysuru, where the voters have already shifted to BJP in the Lok Sabha elections, then it will be difficult for them, difficult for the Gowda family to establish their control over the party, as well as the southern Karnataka region where they are strong. So let's see, it's a cracker of an election, and let's see who is going to win the elections. Thank you.